Hello, fans. Welcome to the second ever edition of the Inside Edge Club Members Spotlight. Liam Gadamer here with you, your play-by-play broadcaster. And every single episode of the Inside Edge Club Member Spotlight is special. But today's especially special because we're joined by the president of our booster club, Valerie Proffitt. Valerie, thank you for joining me today.
I'm so excited to be here with you.
Me too. I'm really happy to be discussing all things River Dragons, all things Booster Club. This is our second time recording, unfortunately. We did chat on the Chattahoochee, had a little
We
bit of
did.
technical difficulties. It was a lot of fun. I did the worm. I promise that we're not going out with that just because I did the worm and I want to save myself from the embarrassment.
I was very much looking forward to that worm. I
I, you
mean,
know,
I'm not even gonna lie.
I think I may be able to clip that part out and, maybe get to the end of this episode and see what we could do. But once again, thank you for joining me. I very much appreciate it and looking forward to having a great chat.
Oh, me too. Me too.
So
Always a fun time to chat with you guys.
awesome. So let's get started, Valerie. Let's start right from the very beginning for you. How did you get involved with hockey in Columbus?
Well, I am from Columbus. So I was born and raised in Columbus. Grew up watching the Cottonmouths. And then when my husband and I got together, we actually went on a couple of dates to the Cottonmouth game. And then after we had Arlana, she and her little friend, her little boyfriend,
Okay.
who is also a huge River Dragons fan, the Culversons, we would meet them down at the games, and we would have date night at the hockey games. And then when hockey went away, we were sad. And then, boom, the River Dragons are here. And after that first season, we hit COVID. But when all of that came out, I messaged Coach and was like, hey, I really want to get involved. He sent me the president of the booster club at that time, Larry Chobachuk, and he got me in touch with him, and I've been here ever since.
That's amazing. So, as you've seen the community transition from where they were with the Cottonmouths to where they are now, how would you say that hockey in Columbus has just evolved?
Absolutely. The Cottonmouths were always, a huge staple for, Columbus, and they really set a precedent of community involvement with Columbus. There are still people now that aren't, that don't necessarily know about the River Dragons, but they know who the Cottonmouths are.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited that the River Dragons continue that community involvement. I went with them to play bingo over at Legacy Reserve,
Mhm.
and that was so much fun to go play bingo. And we go out to eat with them when they do the eat with the dragons. I know they read a lot at the elementary schools, and I know they go and do pizza parties and things like that with the kids, and food drives, toy drives. I know they're always involved with all of those kinds of things. And I'm so glad that they have that community involvement, and they are continuing that community involvement that already has a high bar here in Columbus.
It's absolutely super important, Valerie, and I'm happy to hear you talk about that.
Yes.
And you mentioned in your first answer that you got involved with the Booster Club through head coach Jerome Boom Boom Bishard. Can you expand about the initial story about how you got involved and how you transitioned to where you are now, going from a member to president?
Oh, absolutely. I said, these guys are away from home. Do they have everything they need? Do they, I wonder if there's anybody helping them. And so I saw one night at the game that said something about the Booster Club. And then I went on to the website and I saw another spot that said join the Booster Club. And
Yeah.
so I said, well, I don't know who to ask. So I said, who better to ask than coach? So I messaged Boom privately and said, I was really wanting to know who I had to get in touch with, somebody from the Booster Club. And, the Chucks go back to the Cottonmouth days, just like Boom goes back to the Cottonmouth days. And so they're very good friends, off the ice. And so he was very happy to send me Mr. Larry's number, and I messaged Mr. Larry, and he said, hey, our next meeting is this day, and if you want to come out. And so I went out, and I've been here ever since. And it was just wanting to get involved to take care of these these guys and these players to make sure they have everything that they need, because they're literally thousands of miles away from home, in some cases. And, we become their family while they're here. And, of course they have their players that they play with, in their lines and things like that, their lineys and stuff. But it's something about, having a home cooked meal, or, going out to eat and talking about something other than hockey, you know, that means, a lot to these guys sometimes. And that's why we're here.
Talk to me about your role this season as a host family, but also throughout the years, hosting guys who, like you said, are, sometimes thousands of miles away from home.
I think this is my fourth year as a host family.
Okay.
The first year technically didn't count because it was at the end of COVID, and they weren't assigned host families. They just told the booster club, "Hey, if you can help out these guys, that would be great, but we can't assign them host families."
Gotcha.
So I took care of about 4 or 5
Oh
guys
my
that
goodness.
year. But one of them being Kirk Underwood, and he has
Our
been mine ever
captain.
since. Oh, he's my oh, I love my Kirk. I love my Kirky. But he became one of mine because he came mid-season. And he, of course, was like everybody else, hey, I need some groceries, or, I need this, and, could anybody help me out with that? And we said, absolutely, what do you need? And he's been with us ever since. And that's what being a host family is all about, is you just make sure that these guys have what they need. Obviously we're not going to buy them, you know, a house or anything, but if they need groceries, if they need anything, toilet paper, not a lot of people realize, there's more than just, meat and potatoes that these guys need, just like you have at your house. The team provides them a lot, but sometimes they just need a little extra. And that's where we come in as the booster club, as the host family. Um, like I said, I've been a host family probably, this is, I think, my fourth year that we've been a host family. And it's amazing. And I love it. I love doing, helping these guys and doing for these guys. Giving is kind of my love language. Especially cooking is kind of my love language. So I like to make sure that these guys are well taken care of while they're here.
Booster Club, truly the unsung heroes of our organization. And Valerie, something I want to ask you, I wanted to ask you about on the Chattahoochee, but didn't get a chance to. The River Dragons have become a premier destination in the Federal Prospects Hockey League. And I
We
think that
have.
there are many factors that go along with that. But I think one of the biggest ones are the Booster Club and the impact that you have on these guys' lives each and every single day. As the leader, as the president, as the person at the top, what kind of pride do you take in knowing that guys want to come here, and a big reason why are the hard work that you and your club put forth?
I personally don't take any pride in myself, but I take
Mhm.
a lot of pride in my club. I take a lot of pride in my boosters.
I love
I
that.
take a lot of pride in what we do for these players.
Mhm.
Um, we want members that do this for the right reasons, because it's not about, at the end of the day, it is not about what you have done or what you can do. It's what these guys need and being able to provide it. And it doesn't matter if it's some groceries. We've bought mattresses, we've bought sheets, towels, comforter sets, things like that, things that people don't realize that they need. And as far as it is with becoming a formidable location for people to come, one of those great places, we actually do hear that from players as they come in. We provide a post game meal after every home game, and it's a hot post game meal. It's not cold pizza, it's not, cold chicken fingers or anything like that. It's a hot meal. This past weekend, I believe they got trevioli pasta and salad, and I think on Friday night, and I think on Saturday night they got Boston butt pulled pork sandwiches with chips and baked beans. And those are good filling hot meals that everybody loves. And we do have teams that come here and they say, we always want to come here play. We always look forward to coming here and play because we know we're going to get a good meal. We're going to be treated right. You know, the Booster Club always speaks and is nice to us, good to us, you know, but we're also good to our guys too, always. You know, they get breakfast every Tuesday morning. They get breakfast from the Booster Club. And it could be anything from bagels to breakfast sandwiches to a yogurt bar. You know, we get all of those things for them, and we provide all of those things for them. And it's just a great feeling when you do hear somebody appreciates what you have done, but also that somebody looks forward to being where you are because of something you've provided.
That's amazing. And well, from everybody inside of the River Dragons front office, I want to let you know personally that we appreciate you guys so, so
I'm
much.
so glad.
And we can't do what we do without you, simply put. So, Valerie, of course, the River Dragons undefeated on home ice. I'm curious, how can fans get involved with the Booster Club when the team plays at the Civic Center outside? What sections are you guys promoting your upcoming initiatives? Where can interested folks go to sign up? Talk to me about all that.
We are set up behind section 201 with our 50-50 raffle tickets. We also have some limited merch over there. There's not merch over at 201 all the time, but there's always 50-50 over there. We're just getting back into our mobile 50-50. So if you see people walking around with an apron on that says mobile 50-50, they will be taking card purchases now for mobile 50-50.
Love it.
Also, section 212, that's our section 212 is our big booster club table. That is where you can also purchase 50-50 tickets, but you can also get all of your swag. We have lays that you can buy to display your buttons on. We have buttons of all of your favorite players. We even have a My First Hockey Game button that you can come by and get. We have player painted and signed ornaments. I think there's only a few left of those, but we do have player painted and signed ornaments that are on our Christmas trees that you can come and get. We have cutting boards, serving trays, dog tags, earrings, like the ones I have on.
Oh, look
Earrings.
at those. Number 11?
Yep. So those are my Underwood earrings, as a matter of fact. We have bracelets like this one right here. This was our for Hockey Against Cancer, Hockey Fights Cancer. We still have some of those left, but then we do have other colors as well. And all the players, we even have a coach one. We have a Scorch and a Torch one as well. We even have buttons of Torch and Scorch also. And then you'll see us do various things throughout the year, raffles and things like that, the specialty raffles. But at 212, we also have sign up information. We have brochures, we have applications, we have information packets if you do sign up that just welcomes you to the Booster Club and tells you a little bit about what we do for the team, as well as our little brochure that tells you what we do for the team. All of that is behind section 212 with the two big tables with our big brand new tablecloths that we've got out there that say Booster Club.
That's amazing. And again, if you're a River Dragons super fan, where you want to stop by on game days is the Booster Club table because
That's
you
right.
can
That's right.
get personalized items
Mm-hmm.
like none other. So that's amazing. And Valerie, just you mentioned that interested folks in the Booster Club can sign up outside of those sections. To somebody who's watching this right now, who may be on the fence about joining the River Dragons Booster Club, what's your message to them?
My message would be if you want to help these players, if you want to become involved with a group of people with the best interest of these players and this organization at heart, because Booster Club by definition is we boost the club. The River Dragons is the club, Ignite Sports is the club, and we by definition boost the club. And we do that by fundraising, by helping these players, making sure they get a good hot meal, a good breakfast one day a week. If that is something that appeals to you, if you don't mind working hard, if you don't mind bringing your thinking cap to, make sure that we can get outside the box fundraisers, if you don't mind doing all of that, then this is the organization for you. We fundraise all year long for, the ability to give these guys anything that they need outside of their host family. Big purchases go through the club. We don't expect our individual members to make big purchases like dressers or mattresses or things like that. So big purchases go through the club. That's what we raise money for, so that we have money on hand when those kinds of purchases come in, or purchase requests come in. We just had a request recently for some dressers that we bought, and we're able to help the guys out with that request. But if you're not afraid of working hard and making money to support these guys, and are just willing to be open and helpful, that's what we need. Passionate, great people that just want the best interest of these guys. That's what we want. That's what we need. If that's you, come see us behind 212. I've got a really pretty application for you. I've got a pen for you to sign, and I've got a great looking teal blue folder that says Booster Club on it to shake your hand and give to you once you sign on the dotted line and pay your dues. I've got a great folder for you that will welcome you to the club.
That's amazing. And I have only been to one meeting, unfortunately. I hope to make it out to many more, but I can tell you from the one that I did join, certainly a very passionate group of individuals who love the
We
Columbus
are.
Dragons, who take a lot of pride in making an impact in our community. So if that sounds like you, like Valerie said, don't hesitate to get involved. One last question for you, Valerie, before we wrap
Yes.
up here. What is your vision as president of the Booster Club over the next few years? What do you want to see this club turn into, in your opinion?
My vision would be for this club to be extremely self-sustaining. We already are a self-sustaining entity, but what I mean by extremely self-sustaining means that we have enough members to where we don't have to necessarily do as much fundraising, because we have enough members that we can cover everything, and that we can do additional fundraisers outside of what we do already, things that we haven't thought of before. But we got to have the manpower for that. So, my vision, Jeff gave me a goal. I would love to reach that goal. It may not happen this year, but I would love to reach that goal, and it's 200 members. I would love to get to 200 members. So that's my vision. Whether I'm president or not, whether I'm on the board or not, I would love to see this club expand to, because 200 members, you're talking about the Cottonmouth days when they had 200 plus members, and they were able to do so much more because there were so many members. Um, and I would like that to be true. We already do so much for these guys, and they are so thankful and they are so grateful for every little thing that we do. But if we had more people, we could do additional fundraisers outside of the ones that we do on on game days, and we could provide even more for these guys. Ultimately, extreme self-sustaining. These guys aren't going to want for anything. They don't want for a whole lot now, but they're really not going to want for anything then.
Right. And Valerie, I know I said that this was the last question, but I have another one just
That's
to bounce
okay.
off of your answer. What is an example of an initiative that you've seen during the Cottonmouth days when the Booster Club was at 200 members that you think that if growth continues to come for the Booster Club, that you would be able to put forth for the River Dragons?
Being able to being able to provide catered post-game meals. Right now, as it stands, there are a couple of members that do provide catered meals, and that is great and that is wonderful. And my only request is that these guys are taken care of. But some of us, like myself, I like to cook. So whenever I provide a post game meal, I usually cook something. They tend to like what I cook, so I'm glad. But I would love for the club to be able to cater more post game meals for the team, and not have to put so much on the actual individual members.
Yeah.
That would be an ultimate goal. And in the Cottonmouth days, a lot of that was catered by the club. They had those members, and they had that going on because there were like 200 of them, and that's a whole lot. And
Right.
um, That's one thing I think I would like to see is to be able to cater more post game meals for these guys, to not put so much work on my booster club members.
And one
I think
thing
that would
that
be my ultimate thing.
It's amazing. And one thing that many people watching may not know is that for most teams that come to the Columbus Civic Center, you're not only providing for the River Dragons, but the Booster Club is providing for the road team as well.
Yes,
So that just only adds to the workload and simply the manpower that it takes in order to execute what you guys provide for both teams.
we do. We usually feed the visiting team. We call it hospitality.
Okay.
We do visiting hospitality, which includes the players and their staff. So
Wow.
their coaching staff, if they bring any trainers with them, any of that, we also feed them as well. We feed our team and our staff as well. So if you in the front office don't get a plate, as long as you wait for our guys to go through first, then that's cool.
The only reason why I haven't gone and gotten myself a plate yet, and I've told you this, is that if somehow, some way, I get a plate before Ryan Hunter or any member of the River Dragons for that matter, after they played a 60s somehow or sometimes more than that in a hockey game, I will never be able to forgive myself. But I am going to get out and try
Yes.
up the home.
And that is our rule of thumb with the booster club too. And we'll catch you. We'll say, no, the guys have not come in
Good,
yet. You can't
good.
get a plate.
Stop me at
Yeah.
the
So
door,
that's the rule of
please.
thumb. All 20 some odd of them have to come in first before anybody else. So
I know I said last question 3 questions ago. What's your number one meal that you have cooked over the years for the players? I'm curious.
probably the buffalo chicken and rice.
Oh, that sounds good.
I went in with two 22-quart cookers
Mhm.
and they were both full of buffalo chicken and rice. And when I left there with a spoonful about this much
Okay.
between the two teams. So I think it went over well.
Gone in an instant, huh?
It was.
I love that. Well,
Some
Valerie,
guys came back for seconds. So
it's perfect. And thirds and fourths.
exactly. I was like, you want some to take home with you? And you can.
Yeah, right. That's amazing. Well, Valerie, thank you so much for joining me on episode 2 of the Inside Edge Club Members Spotlight. Valerie Proffitt, our president of our booster club. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, Liam. And don't forget that I do a little video to put on Facebook every week when we have our table open up. So be sure to check that out too. If you need to see what we got, I show you all the merch up close.
Plug your social media when you get a chance. Where can fans follow the Booster Club on social media? Or I could
We
put it in the
have
description if you don't have it off the top of your head.
yeah, we do have a Facebook that's
Okay.
CRD Booster Club.
Mhm.
We also have an Instagram that's CRD Booster Club. You can follow both of those, and they will have pictures as well of things that we are doing, participating in, holiday party, things like that, which is coming up. So, Liam, be there, be square. It is coming up, and we hope to see all of you there as well. So come join the Booster Club so you can get your invitation to come. And we look forward to seeing y'all.
Perfect. For Valerie Profit, my name is Liam Godimer. Thank you so much. Until next time, stay safe, stay well. And as always, never forget this. Let's go, River Dragons.